Hi there. Professor Roberto, can you hear me?
Yeah, sure.
Good. Hey, Caio, how are you? Your microphone's on mute. Roberto, can you unmute him, please?
Hi there.
Hi, teacher. Okay.
How are you?
My English is mais ou menos.
Don't worry. Not a problem.
Okay.
Natalia, how are you? Thanks for joining us. Can you hear us, Natalia?
I don't think so.
It's fine. No worries. I hope you can hear, Natalia. Let us know if the audio is not working properly, okay? Avisa a gente se o áudio não estiver funcionando. Hey, Carlos, welcome. How are you? Thanks for joining us. Guys, first of all, I would like to say that this is our first online lesson, okay? So this is a trial. We have never done this before. This is the first time that we're doing a online session, okay? Roberto has a lot of experience in teaching English as a second language. He will introduce himself, but he has been teaching English for the past 30 years, okay? But this is the first time that we're doing this 100% online, all right? So we have put a lot of effort in coming up with this solution and this idea for you guys to pass through this quarantine process. And we hope that you guys enjoy it a lot, okay? Thank you very much, everyone, for joining. We will wait another extra 1 minute, and then Roberto will start his lesson, okay? Did everyone receive the materials that we sent through email? Did you guys download it? Good, good. Perfect. Roberto, can you mute all of them? I think Caio's microphone is still open. And then in another 45 minutes, we can start. So if you want to introduce yourself, Roberto, be my guest. Thank you very much for helping us on this new endeavor. Thank you.
It's my pleasure. Hello, everyone. My name is, as Bruno said, Roberto, and I will try to teach you some English while you're supposed to stay at home. You can say, well, but this is a basic lesson. The guys speaking English all the time. Yes, that's my intention. I want to make you suffer today, so you're going to suffer less when you travel abroad, okay? So I am going to try to speak as slowly as I can. This is not usually the way I do it, but I'll try to do it because this is supposed to be a basic lesson, all right? As I said, my name is Roberto. This is usually how you say your name to anyone. You could also say, I'm from Brazil, okay? Just to introduce yourself. And if you want, I'm not going to say that, but you could also say how old you are. Like, I'm 29, I'm 34, I'm 35. I'm not going to say my age, and don't ask me, okay? The only thing I'm going to say is I've been doing what I'm doing now for more than 35 years. So use your imagination, okay? Anyway, what are we going to do? Can we just start and go on? Okay. I'm going to share with you what we are going to study today. And if you give me a minute, because as Bruno said, this is the first time we are trying to do it 100% online. So maybe we are going to have some technical problems, but I'm going to share you my screen and talk about what we are going to study today. Okay? Good. Okay. So This is the index of today's class in the basic level. As you can see, we are going to talk about how the verbs usually appear in English, the forms they are presented, and then we are going to talk about one of the most common. Everyone can say, oh, I know verb to be. Yeah, that's very easy. Believe me, I myself consider it the most difficult verb in English. And why the most difficult? Because that's the only verb that has different forms for every person. That's the only verb in English that is conjugated. It's not like Portuguese that you have to conjugate all the verbs. Verb to be is the only one that you have to do that. So for each person, singular, plural, you have different forms. Okay? And then we are going to talk about the use of the simple present that everyone needs to use every day to talk about your daily activities. Okay? Welcome, Gabriela, I think. And then we are going to talk about the use of some adverbs of frequency. And then we are going to talk about some exceptions that happens with he or she. And then we are going to talk about the present continuous or progressive, important notes, how to use them. And then at the end, of course, this is a class. So we are going to have some exercises, okay? And like tomorrow, I'll be giving you the answers to the exercise. So I suggest you try to do, and tomorrow you can check if you were right or wrong. We're going to do some of the exercises orally in class. You just go into the chat box and write your answers, and then we'll discuss if they're right or wrong. Okay, can we start? Okay, you can just tell me.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Let's go to the first part.
Guys, just an advice. We will need to mute all your microphone speakers, okay? Otherwise, it will be very hard for different people to hear what Roberto is saying. So everyone that is joining, feel free to participate. But once you stop speaking, please mute your microphone. Cheers, guys. Thank you. Roberto, carry on.
Okay, guys. So if you look here in the screen that I am sharing with you, you have the verb in 3 different forms. First, infinitive. That's the way all verbs appear. When you look up in a dictionary, you find there, for instance, to study. There is no translation for to, but it only shows that the verb is in the infinitive form. And then the base form of the verb, you need to remember these names because we are going to use them in future classes, is the study, and the ing form is studying, okay? And then you have here a table showing what I told you that I consider the most difficult verb. And the subject pronouns, the present of the verb to be, and the past tense of the verb to be. So let's start here with the pronouns. For the first person, singular, we have I. So in English, if you are ever in an accident and you get hurt, don't start I. People don't understand you're suffering. They think you're just saying, eu. In English, I is the first person singular. If you hurt yourself, you say ouch, never I, okay? Second person is you. Third person is he. He is used for a male, a macho man, okay? He, male, she, female. And then we have in English one form that doesn't exist in Portuguese. It, not eat. Eat is a verb. It. This doesn't exist in Portuguese. Sometimes in Portuguese we say, está frio. In English, if you want to say that, you have to say, it's cold. We need it. Many people, my teacher told me that it is used for things and animals. Not exactly. I can use it to refer to like a mobile. It is a mobile. I can use it to refer to a horse. I can also use it to refer to a dog, as long as I don't know the sex of the animal. If you guys have a dog at home and you know that the sex of your dog is a male or a female, you will never call your dog, it's a big dog, it's a nice dog. You can say, he is a big dog or she is a big dog. Okay? So it is not for animal in the singular, of course. But can I also use it to refer to a person? Yes. If there is a baby crying and disturbing our class, I can say, this baby's killing me. It is crying a lot. Because I really don't know if the baby is a boy or a girl. I only listen to the baby. Can you understand what I'm saying? Yeah? Okay. Then the plural forms, we have we is the plural for I, you, which is the same of the singular you, and the plural for he, she, and it is only one, they. Observe there is a TH. TH is a special sound. Yes.
If you can scroll a little bit down so we can see properly the table, then
Okay.
also if you can highlight, you know, where you're passing through, will be a lot easier for everyone to follow up. Thank you.
Highlight, is that in the annotate?
Now you can just use your scroller. There you go, your mouse.
Okay.
Yep, you can just point it where you there you go. You can just point it. There you go. Perfect.
Okay. Thank you. Well, they observe, they. It's not they. There is no D sound. It's a TH sound. You can say, but I heard many people saying they. They is dia. It's not the plural for he, she, or it. Okay, so you need to place your tongue in between. Hello, Fernanda. Welcome. You need to place your tongue in between your teeth when you say they are, not they. Okay? This is really important. For us, maybe there is no difference, but if you're talking to a native speaker, they will understand the difference at the moment you say it. Okay? Then I have right in front in the table, I have here the present forms of the verb to be, like I am, which is often used I'm as a contracted form. You are, you were. He, she, and it, I have the same form. Is, final Z sound, not S, not is. Plural, we, you, and they are. Okay? Now, in the past, I have I was, you were. It's a sound that comes like from here, down here, comes like were. It's not where, it's were. Okay? Like, where were you last night? Not where, were. Was, were, and were. There are some exceptions here. Okay, it is possible right here, if you notice, it is possible to use he, she to refer to pets, as I told you. We also have some exceptions, but these are more advanced English. So I don't want to go into details right now. Sometimes we say, I wish I were rich. Okay, but that's really an exception. Okay, so I don't want to talk about that now. I want to talk about the use of the simple present. That's what we are going to discuss today. What is the simple present? Every time you want to talk about something that you do with a certain frequency. And when I say frequency, it doesn't have to be like every day. Okay? Certain things in your life, you can do it every day when you are young. But as you get older, the frequency might decrease. But if you do it once a year, you can still use the simple present to talk about it. Like, I go to Batuba every year. It's a habit. So that's the number one. Idea, actions that happen with a certain frequency, habitual actions. Like, I teach every day. You study every day. Okay? And then there is an example here for the third person, and we'll talk about this in the next page. He studies every week. Observe that I told you that verbs are not conjugated. Yes, that's true. But in the third person singular, in the affirmative only, it is necessary to add S, ES, or IES to the base form of the verb. We'll be talking about this in the next page. And then I have here some common adverbs of frequency or expressions like every day, every week, every month, every year. I can also say every Monday or every Tuesday or every Wednesday and so on. So I'm going to stop here for just 1 minute, and I want to, in the chat, there is a chat button there. I want you to try to write some examples, and Bruno is going to read it to me about things that you do on a daily basis or on a weekly basis. Can you give me some examples? For instance, I work every day. What about you? Can you write? You have like 1 minute to write some examples of things that you do on a daily basis or weekly basis or monthly basis. Come on, please, right there in the chat box. Bruno, can you help me with examples?
Yes, sure. Guys, just below, oh, there you go. We have one right now, which is I study Python every day. Aline, are you a developer? I reckon you are. Python is a great language. Everything that we have here at Descubra Mundo, it was done on PHP. Yes, there you go. So she's a developer.
Very
Awesome.
good.
Great. Thanks for sharing
More
with
examples.
us.
More examples. Come on. Come on, guys. Time is money. Let's go. More examples.
If you guys haven't found the place for chat, you will see below, close to the number of participants, share screen, bate-papo. It's just over there.
Click there and write your examples. I want
Just write your
examples of
example.
things.
There you go. I work at home on Fridays.
Perfect.
Great.
That's a good one. On Fridays. That's not a good day to work.
Casual
but
Friday.
Yeah. Excellent example.
Great.
So you don't have to dress up or commute to work. That's very good. More examples. One more and we can go to the next part. Come on.
We woke every month.
We
woke every month.
Woke every month?
Yes.
W-A-L-K?
Exactly.
Jesus. Every month? It should be every day. That's a terrible frequency. Okay? I don't know who wrote that, but if I say that to my doctor, he's going to kill me. Okay? It should be every
Exercise
day. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right.
We have another example here. Bear with me a minute. Is I am afraid today.
Okay. That is almost a perfect example using the verb to be. There is only one little problem. I'm afraid of dying. Because of the preposition after all, no exception. After all prepositions, I can only use the verbs in the ing or the gerund. So I'm afraid of dying. Okay? But the rest is fine. Should not be afraid. Stay home. Study with us. Okay? Do the exercise. Keep yourself safe at home. Outside is dangerous. Okay? All right.
We just received the last one. Just for us to finish here. I study at home every day.
Perfect. That's my hero. Okay?
Right.
Okay.
Good.
Let's go on. Let's go on.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for sharing.
Okay. Sometimes you don't want to say every day, every week, every month, or every year, okay? Or even every Tuesday or Monday or Wednesday or Fridays. What do you want to do? You want to use some adverbs of frequency. So if you look here, this is an important part. You have a list of the most common, not all, there are many more, the most common adverbs of frequency. Observe the correct position. They are always placed after auxiliary verbs. Like if you say I am is considered an auxiliary verb. So I am always at home. Okay? If you use any other verb, like walk, like take a shower, like work, like sleep, drink, you use before them. Like, I never drink beer, especially Corona, okay? So, never drink. I am never awake before 6 o'clock. I never drink. Can you see? If I have a main verb, we use it before. If we have an auxiliary verb, we are going to talk about can, will, may, should in the next classes. They are all auxiliary verbs, so we use after them, okay? So we have here like, I always work at home. Too old to go out. I always work at home. I never drink beer. I sometimes drink wine. Now, 1 minute again. Can you give me some examples of things that you always do? See that always has a frequency of 100%, okay? Usually, frequently, often, generally, it's like 75%, okay? Between 75, 65, there's not much difference. Sometimes 50, hardly ever, seldom, barely, rarely, it's like 25 and 10, and never 0. If you say never, it's never, okay? Like I never drink beer, not even if you pay, I never drink it, all right? So 1 minute, can you give me examples using one of the adverbs showed here? Come on.
Guys, let's do the same thing we did.
In the
So you
chat
can write
box.
3 examples. Exactly.
Come on. 1 minute, time is money. Come on, examples.
There you go. We have one in here, which is, I always take a shower.
Thank God. That's a good example. And whoever lives with you must be very happy that you always take a shower. Excellent. Okay, more.
We have another one. A person similar to you. I never drink beer.
That's my mate. Okay, good. I never drink.
We have one that I posted, which is I'm always working. Woo!
But that's not in the simple present. I want in the simple present.
Oh yeah,
I always work. I know you are always.
My mistake.
Yeah, you're bad. Come on. Another one.
We have another one from a different person, which is, I usually go to work by bus.
Perfect example. That's the idea. Any more?
We have another one. Yeah, we have one last, which is, she usually talks with your friends.
Excellent example. Why excellent example? Because there is a classical mistake that Brazilians usually make in this example. And that's why you were probably thinking in Portuguese. Can you read, Bruno, that example again?
Sure. She usually
talks
with your friends.
Okay, what you're saying is that she talks with my friends. You see? You said she usually talks to your friends. And you cannot have your there. She usually talks to her friends. Because if you say your friends, I understand she talks to my friends. I don't know you. I really don't know who said that. And you don't know my friends. So she can't talk to my friends. Can you see what I'm trying to say? If you say she talks to her friends. If you say he talks to his friends. We usually talk to our friends. Okay? So you cannot say, this is classical. Every time you think in Portuguese and you try to say it in English, this is what happens. Okay? You got it? Whoever said that, understood what I'm trying to say? Just say, yes, I got it. Can we go on?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the next page.
Good.
Well, I said that we use the simple present to talk about habitual actions, things that we usually do. As I said, it doesn't have to be every day, okay? I can even, I'm sorry, I think there are no under 18 in this room, right? So I can usually say, when I was young, I usually had sex every day, okay? But that was a long time ago. So the frequency decreased, okay? And so now I can say I rarely have. I'm not yet never, but it's rarely, okay? As you get older, it decreases. But if it still continues, you can still use it. Okay, but there is also another use for the simple present. We use it to talk about feelings, things that we feel inside, opinions, and fact. What's a fact? A fact is something that is real, like the Earth, our planet Earth, rotates around the sun. It's a fact. Bankers make a lot of money. It's a fact. Gold is a very precious metal. It's a fact. Okay? And water boils. It's in the next page right here. Water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. That's a fact. And also freezes at 0 degrees Celsius. It doesn't matter where you are. If you put fire in the water, when it gets to 100 degrees, blah, 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 it boils. And if you put it outside in the winter time in some cold places, if it gets to 0, it freezes. Okay? Good. That's the second use. Also, when you say, I love her, I think she's a great actress, it's your opinion. We use simple present. And we'll discuss this in more details in the next point. Okay? And the third and the last use for the simple present is this. I'm going probably to surprise you here. We also use the simple present to talk about future timetables or schedules, things that are already scheduled to happen, even if it's in the future. We don't need to use the future. For instance, the plane arrives on July 27th at 6:45 a.m. We are in March. I'm talking about July. That's future. But the plane arrives. Why? I already have the ticket. I saw there. It arrives in São Paulo on July 27th at 6:45 a.m. That's it. If it's scheduled, I don't need to say, the plane is going to arrive. The plane will arrive. No, the plane arrives. Like, I heard there is a concert in São Paulo, if it has not been canceled, okay? But I heard there is a concert in São Paulo on Saturday, and it starts at 9 p.m. That's the time that you have in the ticket, okay? So it starts at 9 p.m., okay? Any question about this or no? Any
No.
question? Excellent. Thank you. Now, as I told you, we would talk about it later. The only exception that we have in the simple present is when we talk about he, she, or it. When we talk about he, she, or it, don't ask me why. There is no logical explanation. It's not plural. it follows the same rule of the plural, but it's not. We need to add s, es, or ies to the verb in the base form. So you have here the three rules. You have to add es when the verb ends in s, ss, sh, ch, x, z, or o. For instance, the verb to go. I go to work by bus. You go to work by bus. But if I say he or she, he goes to work by bus. Okay? I also have like the verb to fix. I fix, you fix, he fixes. Okay? So you have some examples here. Unfortunately, they're saying here that we cannot extend the class very much, so I'll try to hurry up. Then we have, if the verb ends in y and the y is preceded by a consonant, we need to drop the y and add ies, like I study, you study, he studies, she studies, it studies. I play, you play, he plays, she plays, sounds like Z, he plays, okay? And all the other verbs, if it's not in the number 1 or number 2, you just add s, and that's it. Any question about the simple present or about how to use the third person, or no? No questions, Bruno. Can you ask them if they are okay?
Yes. Guys, everything all right? Do we have any doubts? Feel free to write down your doubts on the chat.
No problem?
I don't understand.
It's all good. There you go.
I can I help me, please? And number 2, what's the difference between plays and study?
Very good.
E-S.
Okay.
And the plays
ends in y. Okay, both of them. But observe, study ends in y, but before the y you have a consonant, D. Play ends in y, but before the y you have a vowel, A. When it's a vowel, when it's a vowel, you add only s. Only if it's a consonant, like hurry, study, you will drop the y and add ies. Was that clear?
Okay. Okay, thank you very much.
My pleasure. Any other question about this or no? Okay, just to wrap up. Just to wrap up the present. What's another common mistake that Brazilians usually do? In Portuguese, if I want to ask you a question, I usually raise my voice at the end of the sentence, like, you work here? Instead of, you work here. That's an affirmative. In English, if I say, you work here, you work here, it's not a question. It's not by raising your voice at the end that you ask a question. If I have a sentence with the verb to be, that's okay. I only need to invert the position of the verb. Like, you are a technical worker, that's an affirmative. If I say, are you, that's a question. But if I say, you work at IBM, for example, okay? In this case, I don't have verb to be. The verb is work. So if I want to ask a question, what is the problem? In my opinion, no problem. It's just necessary to use what I say, like a magic word in front of the sentence. Like, you work, affirmative. Do you work? It's a question. Do you work at IBM? Do you drink beer? Do you live here? Okay? You can say, but what is the meaning of do? In this case, no meaning, no translation. It only indicates that what you have is a question. So if somebody says, do you like it? You can say, yes, I do, or no, I don't. It's a question. You know, it's a question and it's in the present. And if you observe what we saw in number 2, when the verb ends here, when the verb ends in O, I'm supposed to add ES, which means that if I want to ask a question to a third person, he or she, or about a dog, for instance, I am going to use does. Observe the sound is Z, not does. Does. For instance, I saw a dog that loves popcorn, but I didn't know. So I asked it, does he like popcorn? And I heard, oh yes, he loves it. Does he like? Observe that I only use the ES at the do. I don't use it in the verb. Okay, so I wash, you wash, affirmative, he washes. But if I ask a question, is does he wash? I already added the ES at do, so it's not necessary to repeat, as you can see here in the next page. Oh, okay? For I, you, we use do to ask questions and don't to make negative sentences. I, you, we, and they. He, she, and it, we use does for asking questions or doesn't for making negative sentences. You can ask me, Roberto, is there a difference between using she doesn't drink beer and she does not drink beer? Yes, there is a difference. Every time you think it's necessary to emphasize the negativeness of the sentence, don't use the contraction. Just use the full form, like, I told you she does not like it. I'm really emphasizing that she doesn't like something. Okay? Could you please give me, just to wrap up this topic, some 5 questions or 5 negative sentences using any verb you want in the affirmative, in questions or negative, please. Use the chat box again. Examples, please.
Guys, it would be great if you all could interact. Just wrap up. We need 5 examples.
Yes. Negative or questions, please. Using any verb in the simple present.
Okay.
We have one here. Thank you for sharing. Bear with me a minute. Do you work at home?
Perfect. Do you work at home? Excellent. Home is a special word. If you don't want to use the preposition at, it's possible. Do you work home? Do you work at home? Both are perfectly okay. Any other example?
Do you like eat?
Do you like?
Do you like eat?
Eats, E-A-T-S?
E-A-T, exactly.
Okay, so I have here, if you observe, 2 verbs. So I have to say, do you like to eat or do you like eating? Like is a verb that accepts both forms. Infinitive, to eat, or ing, eating. In advanced grammar, I will probably tell you, if you choose to say, do you like to eat? You should say something specific. For instance, do you like to eat chocolate? If you don't have anything specific in mind, you just say, do you like eating? If you look at me, you know the answer. It's yes, I love eating. Okay? So it doesn't mean if it's chocolate or anything. Whatever you put in front of me, I'll get it. Okay? Any other example?
We have another one in here, which is, do you like quarantine?
Okay.
Tricky one.
I'm sure that everyone is going to say no, but this is a good time for us to be studying at home, okay? And probably discovering things we had never paid attention to at home, okay? This is the time, guys. Stay home, stay safe, okay? What else? No
Exactly.
more?
We have no. We have an extra two examples. Does she like popcorn?
Okay, perfect. Does she like popcorn? Excellent example.
Yeah.
One more?
And then we have one more. Do you work in the evening?
Okay. Do you work in the evening? Yes, I work in the morning, I work in the afternoon, I work in the evening. I don't work at night. At night, I usually sleep. Okay? So evening is the early hours of the night. Night is the late hours, okay? Like after 11 or midnight at night, okay? I don't work at night. Okay, no problem about this. Do we still have time? I'm not clocking, so.
Yes, we do. No, Roberto, yes, we do. We still have another 20, actually 10 minutes. So you can you can take a glass of water, you know, in between one class and another one. So we still have another 10 minutes. Carry on.
To finish this class? Okay, so I'd like to introduce you then a new topic. Now we are going to put together the verb to be that we saw in the previous part. I am, you are, with another verb in a tense called present progressive. Some people also call it present continuous. When do we use that? Look here, I'm right here now. It's used to describe actions that are happening at a time of speaking. So in this case, you will never see every day or every week because the action is happening now at this moment. That's what are we doing now? We are studying now. You see how we are studying now. We are studying online now. We are not studying face to face. We are studying online now. Okay? That's the first and the primary use of the present continuous. In order to form it, observe that we need the verb to be. If you say we study, doesn't exist. We need to say we are, and then we add the ing. Observe that it was not necessary to drop the y here. You just add the ing. The only case you need to make one little alteration is when the verb ends in the letter E, as in elephant, like live. If you want to say, I am living in Europe now, which is not a good idea, but it's just an example. I am living. In this case, it was necessary to drop the final E of the verb leave and add ing. Okay? Good. The second case, it is also used to describe actions that are happening around the time of speaking, not necessarily now at this moment. For instance, we are all at home and then we are all trying to find things to do at home. So many people started reading books. So you can say, I'm reading a very good book by a certain person. At this moment, I'm not reading the book, but it's a process. I've started and I have not finished. So I can say, I'm reading. I'm not working outside home this week. Okay? Or you're not working tomorrow. Okay? This is the third case here. If you study English long time ago, when I say a long time ago, I'm talking about maybe 10 years ago, probably your teacher told you, every time you want to talk about the future, you need to use the future form. Nowadays, it's not necessary anymore. I think that due to all the text messages that we send over the mobiles, they are shortening sentences. So if you want to talk about any future planned action, something that you have already planned to do tomorrow or Saturday. Like, I'm staying home this week. It's not necessary to say, I'm going to stay home this week. You can eliminate going to and say, I'm staying. I can use present continuous with a future significance in this case. It is not possible, for example, it's not raining tomorrow because I can't plan the rain. So in this case, no, it's only personal planned future actions. So 3 possible uses for the present continuous. Something that is happening now, something that is happening around the time of speaking, like I'm learning how to play tennis. Not now, see, I don't have any racket in my hands, not even balls, okay? So, but I am in the middle of a process of learning how to play tennis, okay? And I'm not working out this week. Those are the 3 possible uses for the present continuous. Before I wrap up this, before I finish this, I want to talk about problems. Once again, the biggest problems are here. Important to note, I have already highlighted in yellow. Why? Every time you think in Portuguese and you translate word by word into English, it will probably fall into one of these mistakes here. For instance, oh, I am having classes online now. Perfect, that's happening. Oh, I am loving it. That's not possible. See, love is in the list here. Love is a verb of opinion. It's used in the present. It's used in the past, but it's not possible to be used in the ing. All the verbs in this list, understand, believe, need, want. The problem is, as I told you, we think in Portuguese, like, eu tô querendo, I'm wanting. It doesn't exist in English. It's I want it. Never I am wanting or I am liking. No, I like it. I don't like it. I am forgetting. No, I forget. I forgot. Okay? All these verbs are not used. The only exception you have are 2 verbs. Have, when it means possess. It's not possible to say, for instance, last year I had a Fusca. Now I am having a Gol. I'm having. If the idea is I possess, it's not possible. Last year I had a Fusca. Now I have a Gol. Okay? And also with the verb to think, when the idea is have an opinion. What do you think of this quarantine, as somebody has already asked? Okay? I think it's a good thing in order to prevent new cases of coronavirus. But if I want to know what is going through your mind, it's possible to say, what are you thinking about doing tomorrow? Okay? That's perfect. No problem at all. So the most important thing about the present continuous is you do not use it with these verbs, period. You can say, oh, Roberto, I remember during the World Cup in South Africa, I used to see many signs of McDonald's saying, I'm loving it. Yes, I saw that too, which made many English professors around the world very upset with McDonald's because it doesn't exist. I'm loving it. It's, I love it, okay? So that was a classical mistake made even by McDonald's, okay? And like it or not, you have here some exercises which you are supposed to do at home. If we have, Bruno, do we have like 2 or 3 minutes to try to do 2 or 3 examples?
Yes. Yeah, it will be great.
Okay.
Just give them, a general idea of how they should do the exercises, and then they will be able to do that at home.
Okay. So if you look here, you are supposed to complete the sentences with an appropriate form. When I say appropriate means with s, es, or is if it's in the third person, in the simple present or the present continuous. In every sentence, there is always one word, which we call the key word, which will give you the answer. The moment you look, you will see the answer. For example, number 4, listen, somebody, you're supposed to complete here with the verb to play, the piano. Can anybody please type in the chat box the answer to number 4? Listen, somebody play the piano. Come on, let's see who is first. Come on, guys. We have only 2 minutes.
All right, there you go. We have one person just said is playing.
Perfect. That person is absolutely right. Listen, when I say listen, when I say look, these are the key words. It means the action is happening now. And somebody is third person singular. That's why I say somebody is and not are. Somebody is. Everybody is playing the piano. Excellent. What about number 10? Can somebody give me the answer for number 10?
Guys, please share with us. This will be the last exercise that we will be able to do this time.
Tomorrow,
okay, Roberto
give you the answers to all of them.
That's a great point, Roberto. So what we're going to do, tomorrow we will still have lessons. So we're going to do this online teaching, right, for 14 days during the quarantine period. And every single day, we will send to you guys the material and also a fact sheet with a cheat, right, with the answer from the exercises from the previous day. Okay? So you guys will be able to do the exercises right now at your home on your own time. And then tomorrow you will receive the answers so you can double check the answer. Okay? So we have, one person said, don't speak.
Okay. That person is absolutely right.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I don't speak your language, right? No, I'm not speaking your language. This would be, I'm refusing to speak your language. That's not the case. Excellent, excellent. What about, just to finish, last one. Number 13. I really like my English classes now. Oh, I have the word now, huh? Be careful. Last one, come on. This is your chance to show how good you are. Come on. Do we have an answer?
Not yet.
Yes.
There you go. We have one. I really like.
Thank you very much for saying that. You are absolutely right. Like is in the list of verbs that are never used in the ing. So many people, when they see these on a test, on a TOEFL test or IELTS test, because of the word now, they would immediately say, I really am liking. It's absolutely awful. I really like my English classes now, and I'm glad you do. Thank you very much for joining us. Tomorrow we will have a different topic. I'll give you the answers to all of these. If you have any final question, please, I'm here to listen. If not, it was a pleasure having you here and hope to see you again tomorrow.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Speak to you guys tomorrow, okay? Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Love it.
Okay, thank you.
See you later. Tomorrow.
See you. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.